Been arrested over a bizarre attempt to allegedly sabotage this Saturday's Premiership football match between Charlton Athletic and Liverpool at the Valley Ground in London. Simon Weigart is with me now. I know details are still vague at this point. What do you know?
Well, that's right. It's quite vague at the moment, but they are shocking developments tonight, Kirsty. 4 men, 1 British man and 3 foreign nationals have been arrested as part of an investigation into a possible betting scam at top football grounds. This one tonight involves the Charlton-Liverpool game at the weekend, and the organised crime squad of the Scotland Yard have actually been investigating this for the past few months, and it is linked to other games. Now, we can look at pictures from last season. It's not definite, but this game, for instance, West Ham versus Palace in London, suddenly the lights go out. Also, there was a game between Arsenal and Wimbledon, at Wimbledon, same again. Now, it's thought that the police are linking those and are investigating those cases at the moment. And the 3 men currently in custody, they were arrested yesterday. They're being interviewed by that organised crime group. There are echoes here of Far Eastern betting syndicates. You can't bet on void matches here in the UK, but you could well in Far East.
Fascinating stuff. What are the FA saying tonight?
Well, the FA have been supplying Scotland Yard with information about these matches, but at the moment they haven't said anything, although imminently we are expecting some sort of announcement from Lancaster Gate, the FA headquarters. OK, Sam, you keep your eye on that for us.
Athletic, where a device appears to have been recovered in the lighting system, flood lighting system, which looked as if it was about to be used to disrupt next Saturday's match with Liverpool. David Davis, who is the acting chief executive of the FA, has just delivered this statement.
Early this afternoon, the football authorities were informed by the Metropolitan Police and Charlton Athletic that 4 people had been arrested at Charlton's ground in South London last night. Their arrest followed damage to electrical equipment connected to the floodlights there. Those in custody are neither players nor officials of Charlton Athletic. We understand one of them is employed by an outside company which is used by the club. The 3 others are believed to be foreign nationals. We've provided the police with a list of previous floodlight failures, but they assure us it's too early to link such incidents to this case or to allegations of connections between football and gambling. Football is determined to play its part in helping the police in every possible way. The football authorities, as you can see, are working together in doing so. The Premier League and the Football League will be contacting all clubs over the next 24 hours. The integrity of the game is absolutely crucial to us all. There is no suggestion, and I should say this clearly, there is no suggestion whatsoever of any terrorist link with what has happened. Jointly, we are taking all steps to ensure that games go ahead normally this weekend. Football, it appears, may have been the intended victim of an outside attack. That attack has been thwarted, for which we're all very grateful. On police advice, as I've mentioned, with an ongoing investigation, we're unable to add to this statement at the moment on behalf of the FA, the Premier League or the Football League. But I would like to ask Peter Varney to...
Men have been arrested in an investigation into what's said to be a betting conspiracy involving big English football games. The 4, one's British, the others are foreigners, were arrested last night, suspected of burglary at Charlton Athletic Football Club. The police are investigating why several games have recently been affected by floodlight power failures. In the past, gambling syndicates in the Far East have been accused of arranging for the floodlights to fail.
The 4 people were arrested at Charlton Athletic's ground in South London after the club reported the cabling to the floodlights had been tampered with. The purpose behind the attempted sabotage is thought to involve a gambling syndicate, which planned to stop Saturday's match with Liverpool at a time when they stood to gain the most. Charlton Athletic's managing director detailed his suspicions.
We believe it's to do with a Far East betting coup or attempted coup on spread betting. We're not quite sure of the details, but we know that from that device our floodlights would have been knocked out sometime during that game, and that the damage would have been such that possibly the game could not then have continued. And that must be linked to spread betting, which we believe emanates in the Far East.
It's understood that 2 of those arrested are from Malaysia, but at a news conference this evening, the Football Association refused to speculate on the background to the case. The FA's executive director read from a prepared statement.
We've provided the police with a list of previous floodlight failures, but they assure us it's too early to link such incidents to this case or to allegations of connections between football and gambling. Football is determined to play its part in helping the police in every possible way. The football authorities, as you can see, are working together in doing so. The Premier League and the Football League will be contacting all clubs over the next 24 hours. The integrity of the game is absolutely crucial to us all.
There's been concern for some time about gambling syndicates arranging floodlight failures at Premier League matches, including this game between West Ham and Crystal Palace.
A sweet strike from the right boot of Frank Lampard, on whom the lights have now gone out.
Inquiries by Scotland Yard and senior officials from football's governing bodies are concentrating on 3 matches which were abandoned during the second half at a time when bets made on the outcome would have remained valid. The first occasion involved Derby County versus Wimbledon in August 1997. There were then similar incidents at the matches involving West Ham and Crystal Palace in November of the same year and Wimbledon versus Arsenal in December 1997.
Jointly, we are taking all steps to ensure that games go ahead normally this weekend. Football, it appears, may have been the intended victim of an outside attack. That attack has been thwarted, for which we're all very grateful.
Investigations by both the football authorities and Scotland Yard's organised crime unit are continuing tonight. The 4 people arrested will be held in custody overnight and will face further questioning in the morning.
Ferry Road magistrates today charged with conspiracy and criminal damage of floodlights at Charlton Athletic Football Club. This follows an investigation into allegations of match fixing involving a Far Eastern gambling syndicate. The FA has also confirmed similar incidents at other clubs, including Wimbledon, West Ham and Crystal Palace. It's believed the tampering with lights was an attempt to fix the outcome of Saturday's game with Liverpool, which will go ahead as scheduled at 3 p.m.
Connection with alleged floodlight sabotage at Premiership football grounds. Police arrested them on suspicion of burglary at Charlton Athletic Football Ground on Wednesday. A 4th man arrested at the same time was released earlier on police bail. Paul Davis is at Horseferry Magistrates Court now. Paul.
The 3 men, all of Asian nationalities, made a very brief appearance in this court just a few minutes ago. Chi Quen Ong, Wei Huan Lu and Eng Hua Lim are all charged with attempting to gain pecuniary advantage, of causing criminal damage and with possessing articles that could endanger life. The 3 had been driven to Horseferry Road Magistrates Court in a security vehicle earlier this morning. They had been arrested at the ground of Charlton Athletic Football Club on Wednesday night. The police investigation centred on the club's floodlighting. Detectives have been given a list of past Premiership matches which have had to be abandoned because of floodlight failure.
And the lights have gone out.
And Paul, what about Charlton's
In court today, one of the accused gave his profession as being an electrician. Another said that he was a professional gambler. All were remanded in custody for a week.
Paul, what about Charlton's match on Saturday? Is that going to go ahead?
Well, officials at Charlton a very short time ago told us that the match will go ahead. That's their game with Liverpool on Saturday, kicking off at 3 o'clock as planned, despite everything that's happened this week.
Paul, thanks a lot.
In connection to damage to Charlton floodlights at the Valley, a 4th man has been released on police bail. Meanwhile, the club have announced their game against Liverpool on Saturday will kick off at 3. They did consider changing the start time following the incident on Wednesday night. Phil Edwards reports.
The 3 accused men arrived at Horseferry Road Magistrates Court charged with conspiracy and causing criminal damage by possessing articles which may endanger life. They'd been arrested on Wednesday just yards from Charlton Athletic's Valley Stadium following a police surveillance operation. A search revealed damage to a plant room controlling the ground's floodlights.
The 3 accused are Chi Q Ong, who's 49, a manager from Paddington, Wai Yuen Liu, who's 37, a car salesman from Kensington, and Eng Hua Lim, who's 35, an electrician from Paddington. They made a 25-minute appearance in court, flanked by 5 security officers. An application for bail in respect of Mr. Liu was turned down, and all 3 men were remanded in custody for a week.
Meanwhile, police investigations continue into recent matches affected by floodlight failure. This is what happened when Frank Lampard scored for West Ham against Crystal Palace in '97. In the Far East, the half-time scoreline stands for betting purposes even if the match is abandoned. A match between Wimbledon and Arsenal in the same year was similarly affected. After the hearing, the officer in charge of the case spoke to waiting reporters.
It's an ongoing investigation and it's been given the full commitment, and at this stage I'm not prepared to say any more.
The three men will appear before magistrates again in a week's time. Meanwhile, the Charlton-Liverpool match this weekend goes ahead as scheduled. Other Premiership clubs have been urged to check their floodlight systems. Phil Edwards, Sky Sport.